Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel today. This is Lori Whitlock and I'm excited to show you this new pop-up card that we have. We pull it out of the 5x7 envelope and happy B-Day, and you open the card up and you get this fantastic super pop-up card in the middle. So this one has a bee in the middle and we have several others. There's this awesome mechanism in there that's holding it up. I'm going to show you how to put that together. The one thing I will caution you about on this is to use a lighter weight paper for the mechanism, because if you get it too heavy, it just doesn't want to glue down and stay glued, and it doesn't want to work as easily, and it makes your card thicker. So as you can see, I am fitting this into a 5x7 envelope. It does have a little thickness to it, so if you're worried about weight of mailing, I don't know if it's going to cost extra to mail or not, but it's just a little thicker through the middle. So just be aware of that. If you are concerned, maybe make one before trying to mail a bunch of them or something like that. So cute though, huh? I think you're going to love this. Let me show you the other styles. Oh, by the way, for each of these, we have a matching gift bag to go with it. So you could give a happy B-Day card to somebody along with a little treat filled or gift in this gift bag. So much fun, huh? So let's move that one off to the side and let me show you the rest of them. We've got this darling happy birthday one. Happy birthday with some little balloon cluster. I've tried not to make the front too bulky because we've got this mechanism inside that adds enough bulk. So we've got that cute birthday cake with a cute birthday cake tote. How fun is that? You could decorate this for any color, boy or girl, or any theme. You could decorate the cake a little bit more if you wanted to. This is a super fun little gift set. Okay, we've got a have a good day with this cute pop-up ladybug and a little ladybug tote. How fun. So if you've got a ladybug lover that you know, you could give them this fun set and they would absolutely love it. Like I said, I'll just show you the flaws of this one here. We used a little heavier cardstock and it just gives us a little bit harder time gluing down to the bottom. I think this was a basil cardstock, so I don't recommend that. I recommend something a little lighter. The one that worked really well was probably more of a 65-pound cardstock, a little thinner. You can kind of tell it's not as rigid as this, which is super rigid. It just doesn't want to flex much at all. So hopefully that helps you choose your cardstock wisely. The card base could be a little heavier, but that mechanism, maybe not so much. And honestly, like the white panel, you don't need to make it too thick because it just adds extra bulk to your card. Moving on, we've got this darling card base. It's just kind of a pop-up book. It's kind of a blank slate. You could do whatever you wanted on that surface. You could turn it into like a graduation diploma or a book. It's just a hello friend. You could put pictures on it. It's just a great card base. Again, this was with heavier paper and we had a little trouble with it tearing here at the seam. So just don't try it. Just use a little lighter weight cardstock on this mechanism. It just puts too much strain on everything when it's too heavy. Congrats. And we've got this beautiful pop-up flower and a flower bag to match. What a pretty gift set. So of course you could interchange these if you wanted to say congrats and put a bee inside. You could mix and match anything that you want. You could do congrats and change out the flowers for little diplomas and have something fun on this for congratulations for graduation, and change up the colors for graduation. There's lots of fun things you could do. If you wanted to turn this into a wedding cake, you could do that and cut off the candles and have congrats and then decorate it like black and silver or something fun for wedding. There's just a really big variety of things you could do with these cards, and I hope you make some and that you enjoy them. I will just give you a little caution when I talk to you about the angles. You need to be very precise in marking these angles. I'm going to show you how to do that here in a minute. Very, very precise when you glue them. A little hair off and you're just not going to have it work as smoothly. So it really, really does pop up nice and smooth. I did end up using some staples here on this section so that it holds things in there nice and firmly. So just take your time when you make this card and be extra precise and let it have time to dry in between. This one is not tearing away at all. And you should be able to have the same results as well, as long as you're patient and take your time as you put this together. So look how cute all these fun cards are. We've got 5 variations, and then I did 4 bags. I didn't do a bag to go with this one because I wasn't sure what kind of a bag to do, but I figured you could mix this with anything. You could use it with this cute bee or a cake or a ladybug or a flower. So cute, huh? So let's get busy putting this together. I hope you enjoy these card bases. It's truly a super pop-up card. It's nice and fun with a nice big pop in the middle. So let's get started making these and we'll see how it goes. Let's get started putting this design together. As you can see, I've got all the pieces cut out here in front of me. The one thing I would warn you about is make sure that you cut the mechanism pieces out of about 65-pound cardstock. You don't want it to be too heavy or it gets really thick in the middle and it starts to bind things up. So getting the right weight of cardstock is really important. If you'll notice the bee, I've just gone ahead and layered him and he folds like this. You can see right through the score line, there's only 1 layer of cardstock to help him fold in half really well. And I've tried to keep everything for these center pieces to a minimum so there's not too many layers to fold. The covers are quite simple. They're all just a cut through piece. Just cuts all the way through and then 1 little embellishment to put on. It looks super cute just with the colored background showing through like that. So I went ahead and layered our little bee. You'll notice these 2 covering panels for the inside of the card has 2 dots down here and 1 dot up here. Those are the large dots and those are just for letting you know which piece is glued in which area. You don't need to line up the holes. You just need to know that the 2 holes are going to glue in this glue area and the 1 holes are going to glue in this area. And if you'll look a little bit closer, you'll see that there's some fine, tiny little pinpoint holes. I had a little pin here. Let me show you real quick. This pin will just go right through those holes. Just make sure you can see those really well because we're going to use those first of all to just draw a little line between the 2 so we can get all of our angles just right. If you'll notice on this piece here, there's also some of those pinpoint holes. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you need to take a pin and just kind of, after your cutting machine cuts them, just push that pin through so you can see them even better. That's great. So actually, let's start there. We're going to go ahead and mark on both this piece and those 2 pieces the line. So that's why I have a ruler out, and then you want a nice pencil help you mark with. Let's go ahead and place your pencil on one of those holes and just line them up and just draw a line straight through there. And then we're going to do that again in this direction. Got 1 hole here, the other one there, and just draw that line. So that's going to tell you where to glue this piece towards the end. So got a little extra pencil there, just erase that. I'm going to set that piece off to the side and we're going to mark these 2 pieces. Again, when you have these placed in the middle, just to make sure you have them right side up, they'll kind of form a V towards you. So make sure that you have them in the middle and that the center dots are closest to you. And then again, we'll just take our ruler, line those 2 dots up and draw a nice angle there. And then do that again down here at the bottom. Okay, and then just leave those other holes, the large holes, just alone. Those are just, like I said, to show you which pieces to glue in which area. Okay. Okay, so that's it as far as marking them goes. Just want these 2 lines and those 4 lines marked. And now we'll start assembling. I'm just going to go ahead and set my card front off to the side for a few minutes. We've already assembled that. We're going to set our B off to the side. He's already assembled as well. And then let's go ahead and start by gluing down our card base into our card, well, our card covering panels into our card base. And we're just going to put some adhesive around on this. Now it's really important, because we have these angles here, to glue this in precise position. There's a 1/8 inch space all the way around. So just carefully line that up and glue that down. Now we'll do the other side. Again, 1/8 of an inch gap all the way around, making sure that those lines are meeting up there in the middle. Okay, that I got just a little tiny bit off. We'll see how that affects our assembly, but just make sure you get those as precise as possible, because it's going to help us as we put the rest of it together. Now the next part we're going to do is fold our mechanism pieces. We want this mechanism piece, the lines, to be towards the back. So we're going to fold, let's see, I always have to look at one of my previously cut ones to remember which direction to fold everything. Okay, we're going to fold our lines on the front here. We're going to fold these away from us. And we're going to fold right here towards us. And then these 2 angled lines, we're going to push that down and fold that away from us. And you can see how it can start to kind of fold flat. Those glue tabs, you can just pull those straight out. Let's give everything a nice press. So this is kind of the pop-up mechanism here. It's going to glue down in the card base, and then we have this other piece that's going to push this up that we glue right here. So this has the double hot holes, so we're going to line that up on these front lines. Don't worry about matching up the holes. They are not intended to be matched up. Just that angle that you made with the lines is important. So the one thing I'll caution you about is you want this glued down in such a way that it is not going to move. So make sure you use some really good adhesive and that you give it plenty of time to dry before you start working with it. So I'm going to make sure I get glue all the way to the edges and really well throughout the middle. And then you're going to fold those glue tabs away from you and down on that line in the center of your card. And it's really important that the center is in the center or your card won't fold properly. So let's give everything a good press here. And make sure that those angles are just right. The glue likes to slide around just a little bit. You may want to draw your angles with something that's a little lighter than I did. I just made them nice and dark so you could see them on this video, but if you don't want them to peek out at all on that front, you could do them with something a little lighter pencil mark. Okay, again, make sure those edges, these front edges, are going to take a lot of strain here, so just glue that down really well. And what you can do when you feel like you're ready and it's glued down pretty well is just fold it in half and even put something heavy on it for a minute. In fact, I'll just set my stapler on it for a minute. We're going to use that here in a minute. And we can fold our back piece here, which you can see in here looks like this. We're going to fold those dotted lines towards us with the dots, the little glue tabs with the dots. And then we're going to fold everything like this so that the glue tabs are showing down here at the bottom. And then these glue tabs up here, you can just fold them back towards you so they're the opposite direction from the bottom ones. And you can just give everything a good press. You want everything to be folding nicely. Okay, so the ones with the dots down here at the bottom are going to glue into our card base right down here on these angles. Just making sure that front one has got a nice dry glue. Give everything a really good press again. And at this point, we're going to take this piece with the bend towards the back. I'm just going to push that piece up for a minute. And we're going to glue this on that angle right there. This is going to be our pusher. It's going to push this top up when we open the card. So you're going to glue at this angle right here with those those dotted pieces, single dots, go right there. And again, you want a good seal. Whoa, excuse me. Again, you want a good seal on that glue so that it doesn't come loose when you're moving your card. Get plenty of glue all the way to those edges of that glue tab. Okay, and you're gonna have it peeking away from you and gluing right on that line. I hope you can see this. Let me hold it up for you just a little bit. This is the angle you're gluing it on right here, and the glue tabs are visible on the inside of the mechanism, not on the outside of the mechanism. So I'm just going to push those down really good, making sure it's centered, and then use my bone folder. Oh, see, everything slid a little. You don't want it to do that. Make sure you get it centered perfectly and right on that angle. The more precise you are, the better your card is going to turn out. And in fact, I highly recommend you try this with some scrap paper to start with, so that if you need to modify your technique a little bit, you can do that. Okay, so that is going to dry for just a minute, but once it's dry, I'm going to take this line that I drew under here across there, and I'm going to put these glue tabs facing up, but I'm going to line up those fold lines with that line, and I'm actually going to use a stapler to secure it because it takes a lot of force. I'm going to use glue and a stapler. So first I'm just going to put some glue on those tabs. Making sure this bottom's glued down really good first before I start putting any force on anything. Okay, this is a little tricky because you are going to line up that line, that folded line, with that drawn line on each side, and give that a good press. Make sure the centers are lined up really well. You want your card to fold in half perfectly. And then what I like to do to secure it really well is put a staple in it. You don't have to do that if you don't feel like you need to, but I have felt like I've needed to every time in order to get the mechanism to keep working for me properly. Just do your best to match those angles there with the crease on those glue tabs. And I like to have the flat part of the staple on this front of the card where I'm going to glue my embellishment item. So I'm gonna push my stapler down in there, and I'm gonna staple off to the right side on this one. I missed. I'm gonna have to pry that out. And I was gonna staple off to the separate sides a little bit. Okay, I think I got that one. This first one I missed. I'm actually just gonna leave it. It's not gonna hurt anything, but I'm gonna put another one in here. I'm trying to offset these staples a little so when it folds, it's not as bulky, but whatever works is great. Maybe you'll even have a better idea than staples, but I just wanted that to be super secure. Okay, you guys, I'm doing a terrible job of demoing this part. I gotta pull that one out because it went below my crease line. So we're gonna pull that one out of there. That top one's not gonna hurt anything because it's just gonna be behind our graphic. So we're gonna aim for in between the two of those. And I'm going towards, perfect, I got that one right on. Okay, it's kind of bugging me, so I'm gonna take that top one out. Okay, so you can see we've got two staples. I tried to kind of offset this one towards the outside, that one towards the middle. That way, when we close our card, it closes better. Okay, and then you can just fold everything in half. Just make sure everything is folding the way you want it to. And that is the mechanism. That's what makes your card pop up. Doesn't look that cute now, but it's gonna look cuter when we put our things on it. So you'll notice, I mean, you do have to just smash everything flat and it's working. I was a tiny bit off on my angle in here, but it has fixed itself. When I force it to close, it's kind of fixed its position. So everything's looking good. Now we're gonna take our B, and you just want it might be helpful to just kind of fold things in half and match up that angle in there and just glue that in place. I think that's the easiest way to do it. So put some adhesive on this whole surface here. And really, you can make anything pop up with this mechanism. You can, anything that will fold in half, you can put on here. So I've given you several options this week with a birthday cake and a flower and a bee and some, just a generic one and a ladybug. Anyways, if you want to make something else pop up, just make sure you can get it folded in half and then you can do that. So I'm just matching that angle in there and closing the card. Okay, so this point, we just want it to dry really well. But you can see he's gonna pop up just like that. How fun is that? Okay, see why we want it to dry really well? So he wants to come loose, so putting him back in there. Now, I'll give you just a little, you know, there is some thickness to this card. It's not perfectly flat. It's got a little bit of thickness. So if you're worried about mailing a thicker card, just be aware that it does have some dimension to it. But if you use a little bit lighter weight, especially on the mechanism, like 65 pound, I prefer that. I think it works better. Okay, so we're just gonna let that dry really well for a minute. Don't want to put any strain on that mechanism or that bee while he's drying. So let's go ahead and put our card front on. We're just gonna center that on the front of this. Try to keep it nice and thin, not too many layers. So we'll just add a little adhesive to this. Really doesn't take that much. Just a little here and there. Okay. We'll center that on the front of the card. Okay, look how cute. And he's pretty dry. We'll just kind of open him up. There's what he looks like when you open him all the way and close him. So cute. And if you match him with his little basket, you have the cutest little gift set ever. You can give a gift in this little gift bag and this darling card. How fun is that? So I hope you guys have fun making these cards. We have so many cute variations of it. And like I said, you can get creative making your own as long as you can create an image that will pop up. You can get super creative with whatever you want to make into a pop-up card. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoy making these. Please feel free to leave a Facebook message or email us at info@loriwhitlock.com and show us what you've made with these cute files. Hope you have a wonderful day and have fun crafting. See you in another video. Bye-bye.